Okay, welcome back to the Adventure Within channel. My name is Andrew Fritz. I'm a clairvoyant healer and meditation teacher. And tonight I want to talk about my experience channeling Jesus Christ. But before I get to that, I do want to talk about the trance mediumship ability. It is a crown chakra ability that we all have, that we can tap into and practice and work with. First and foremost with trance mediumship, it is your ability to step out of the body consciously and effortlessly. And that's something that you could spend quite a bit of time just kind of working on and mastering. And before you even kind of really get to working with different beings for the purpose of healing or communication or both, just working with your own trance mediumship energy, that's powerful and very healing. And then learning, I've been practicing this for the past 4 years. And then when you kind of learn a particular technique, not only the healing for yourself, but if you're working with somebody else, so I've gotten a lot out of this. It's very profound, and there's a lot of healing that takes place. It's just a lot of fun, and it's very effective and powerful and quick, and it's pretty amazing. And usually people that are interested in trance mediumship, they're excited about working with these different beings. And that's what you get to, and that's what I have gotten to. I've worked with spirit guides and angels, but it's not always, sometimes when people think about channeling, it's, there's kind of the fears of, oh no, I'm gonna, what if I channel the wrong entity and it's this lower being and I'm possessed, and, there's all this fear around it, which is understandable. Sometimes just being afraid of the unknown with this. But when you work with your trance mediumship of energy, you're raising your vibration so high. Kind of some of these beings that maybe where their consciousness is lower, can't really kind of meet you where you're at. And then sometimes people kind of get stuck on it's only about channeling, ascended masters or higher level beings, and that's it. Or just getting stuck on, I only work with this being and that's it. And maybe that works for some people, but for me, it's fun to kind of work with a variety of different beings. And that's, eventually when I want to teach this, that's probably how I'll teach it as well. So yeah, of course, it's, working with your spirit guides or angels. In this particular case, I'm going to talk about, working with Jesus Christ, which is pretty profound and amazing. But you can also work with, and I've done this, where it could just be beings that you've had past lives with, and you have, some unfinished business with, or karma. So that can be, pretty healing. I might not sound, glamorous and amazing, but it is very healing and worthwhile exploring. So it's kind of fun having the variety, not kind of just, focusing on these high-level entities and then that's it. Just being open to these different experiences. And, in this particular case, I was able to work with Jesus Christ a couple nights ago. And I've worked with this being before, this divine masculine energy, in different ways, but this one was a lot more with greater awareness and actually kind of bringing it in and channeling it. And it's not that you bring it in all the way, just to a certain point that's appropriate, we'll say. So I'll describe my experience. Basically, I'm out of my body and I'm above the building that I'm in, above the roof, so to speak. And I see this ball of light kind of appear. And I immediately knew, sometimes clairvoyantly, whether you're in the body, out of the body, you'll kind of just notice, sometimes I'll see entities in kind of a sphere of light, just a ball of light, a particular color. And you kind of just get a sense of their energy signature, whether you're like, oh, you look familiar, or you're not familiar, or this is my spirit guide, or this is this being. You just kind of have an immediate knowing when you see it. Or you just know, oh, I'm not sure who this is, and you can communicate. Or sometimes it toggles between seeing a ball of light, a particular color, and like seeing them in some sort of form, as if the way you'd almost see like a physical body, not 100% just like a physical body, but similar, but then it's also kind of very see-through. So sometimes it toggles between that for me, form versus just like a ball of light. And so when I noticed Jesus Christ, it was just a really intense, bold, gold color. And if you've had your own experiences working with Jesus Christ, and if you saw it differently, your experience was different from mine, that's totally okay. It's not that there's a right or wrong, good or bad, one way and that's it. It's just different experiences with different people, and that's totally fine. And there was just this real quick communication about what was about to take place in regards to the healing for me personally. And then there's just this real quick message was, you're going to remember this one. And I do, that's why I'm sharing this. And so I bring, Jesus in just to a certain level. And immediately I'm just this energy was very intense. There was almost like this, it was almost uncomfortable actually. It was like this pressure was building in my head. And I knew something was about to clear, but it was just like, it was real intense pressure. And then finally the energy started clearing. And most of it on a color level was black. When you're clairvoyant, you can start to see energy and, as color, symbols, and mental image pictures. So I was just seeing color, and it was mostly black, and a lot of it was just invalidation, and a lot of it was clearing from my upper chakras in the body. So like 5th chakra, 6th chakra, crown chakra, and so on. And then it was kind of getting to the lower chakras after that. And like I said, I've worked with Jesus before in different ways, and working with this Christ force healing energy, this divine masculine, it is, in all my experiences, it tends to be very intense. And I know other people that have experienced it well would say something similar. But again, if you have a different experience, that doesn't mean it's bad or wrong or anything like that. That's just been what I've noticed kind of fairly consistently, that it tends to be intense and very deeply healing. And it was, it's once the pressure kind of released and the energy was clearing, and I was able to get even more kind of separation, just kind of watch and observe. I was just really impressed. I was like, wow, that's a lot of heavy energy releasing, and very fast. So that was kind of like just my solo kind of experience. And then I had the opportunity to, work with Jesus Christ again, channeling, but also working with another person. I was giving a healing to another person. And even though I'm giving a healing to another person, I'm still receiving a healing. That's the thing with healing, is that sometimes we get so focused on the healee that we forget about ourselves. You're actually, as a healer, you're probably going to be clearing more energy than the person that's receiving the healing, the healee. That tends to be the case. So having awareness of what's happening with yourself and the other person, the person that you're giving the healing to, is good to have. And that's why before you even kind of get working with entities, it's nice to kind of just, with this kind of, at least this style of, getting familiar with your transmediumship energy and just consciously stepping out of the body. Again, that's something you can spend quite a bit of time working on and mastering. But getting back to kind of channeling Jesus and working with someone else, giving healing to someone else, there's healing happening on all these different levels, but the focus or the theme was this purification, and it was aimed kind of at this person's physical heart, where all this like low dense energy, again, the color is black, was like kind of releasing from the heart space and kind of around the heart. And there was this sense of restoring back to wholeness, to completeness, where there's just no lack. And like, to me, that was, very profound. I was like, wow, okay, like that's something that we're all kind of aiming for, right? Where we don't feel like we're lacking or anything's missing, where there's this deep sense of wholeness or completeness. And then on the other part of it was the healing was very aimed also at the center of the head space, the space in and around the pineal gland, and all these images were flying out of this person's center of head, basically. And there are different types of pictures, but some of them were kind of religious, kind of limitation pictures. And for me, that was kind of a match I had with this person. It's just because you kind of work with, a being like this, Jesus Christ. Of course, there's going to be a lot of religious energy and images that will get stimulated because of that. And I didn't grow up in a household that was religious, but you can have past lives where you were involved in religion in different ways. So, or just growing up around people that may have been involved in it. So there's always energy and images that kind of clear out of your mind, so to speak, about it. And, I'd say I wouldn't have been as open to this experience as, in the past. I think I would be less open to it just because, I didn't grow up with, religion and wasn't really interested in it or anything affiliated with it, even though I kind of knew, what my quote unquote picture was about, say, a person or a being like Jesus Christ. But, and I've had my experiences, just very simple experiences kind of in the past, but this was like the most profound one. And to the point where I was like, wow, just the healing that took place. And then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I want to work with this being, in future healings, not for, just for myself, but also when I give healings to other people, because it's just so profound. So yeah, I just have a lot of affinity for this. I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. But this is something that I do offer, these trance mediumship healings, that sometimes they involve where I'm not channeling, and sometimes I will. And so I think in some of these upcoming healings, these trance medium healings, I'll probably start working with Jesus more. Just it's a lot of fun. So if you're interested, check it out, adventurewithin.co, and we'll see you in the next video.